song made famous by Nina Simone and others. The song describes how I feel when I'm aligned, when I allow and I let go. Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me, and I'm feeling good. Oh, I'm feeling good, yeah. Fish in the sea, you know how I feel. River running free, yeah. You know how I feel. Blossom on a tree, yeah. Oh, you know how I feel. In this old world is a new world, in the whole world for me, and I'm feeling good. Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, I'm feeling good. Whoa. Butterfly out in the sun, you know what I mean, don't you know? Dragonfly out having fun, you know what I mean. Sleep when peace is done, oh, that's what I mean. In this whole world, oh, is a new world, in the whole world for me, and I'm feeling good, yeah. Said I'm feeling good. No, 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 no. Goody good, goody good, 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 da, 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 da. Goody good, 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 da, 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 da. Goody good, good, good. Goody good, good, good. Goody good, good, goody good, good, goody good, good, good. Stars, when you shining, you know how I feel. Scent of the pine, you know how I feel. Hey, say freedom is mine, freedom is mine. Hey, that's how I feel, yeah. In this old world is a new world, hey, in the whole world for me,
What is a woman? Is a woman bold?
How dare you?
Is she courageous?
I was arrested on December 1st, 1955.
She's a fighter, risk taker, lawmaker,
Were always rationalized as favors to women.
educator, creator.
Anybody asked what I thought, I would write it.
You see a woman, she's a leader.
We, the people, have the power to build a better future.
She's a believer, high achiever,
Thank you for this award.
more a giver than a receiver. Woman of hope
For there is always light if only we're brave enough to see it.
for the next generation to not be so cold. Women give love,
I've given it to everyone I know. I love this book.
women give light. Women are the essence of life. Is she everything that we said she wasn't?
Who will have the power to shape our children for the next 4 or 8 years of their lives?
Or is she everything that she said she wanted? Just look in her soul. We can see her light shine. What is a woman?
Good morning. Welcome to One Love Livestream Sunday morning connection. You're, of course, welcome in this place. No matter where you come from, no matter what your background is, religiously or spiritually or non-religiously, whatever your background may be, whoever you are, whoever you've decided to show up in this life as, you are welcome in this space. And I want to say thank you for choosing today to tune in. And if you just clicked on this, hang tight. I believe today is going to be an empowering day for you. I believe this because I believe these principles actually do work. I was sitting yesterday at the golf. One of the beautiful things about living here in the St. Pete area and Tampa Bay area, more specifically in Seminole, Florida, is that we live really close to the Gulf. And so occasionally we're able to go just drive over quick, plop a chair down and just listen to Mother Earth sing her song by way of the ocean. And by way of the Gulf for us, being here on this side of the state of Florida, and just take in the wonder of everything. You know, Rumi said many years ago, "Sell your cleverness and purchase bewilderment," or in other words, learn to live in awe and in wonder of this beautiful planet and of all of the beauty that's around you. And that's one of the things we got a chance to do, to just sit in awe for a few moments. And as I was sitting there, I was thinking, in fact, I was sharing with Carrie, that I really, really believe what I share with you. I believe it with my whole being. I believe with every fiber of my being that we are all, every one of us, are emanations and manifestations directly shipped to this planet by the source, and that all of us come from that same source. I believe this in every fiber of my being. And I also believe that as a result of us being of source, that within us we have the resourceful power of that same creator from which we all come to be. And so I encourage you today to not play it small because someone else is afraid of playing their bigness. Be careful that you don't spend your life trying to fit in to places that you've outgrown. Be okay with releasing all of that and moving into your greatness. You're never greater than someone else. It's not that, because this is not about competition and comparison, but this is about you fully unfolding as the beautiful rose that you are. Can you imagine what would happen if roses on the same bush together decided that they weren't going to fully bloom because they were concerned that their blooming might make them more attractive or make them bigger than the next rose on the rose bush? Don't do that. Expand to your fullness. Allow yourself to completely unfold. Allow your whole life, the genius that you are, to literally blossom forward. You know, Buckminster Fuller years ago said, boy, that's a mouthful first thing in the morning. Buckminster Fuller said years and years ago, everyone born into this world is a genius. It's that life has a tendency to ungenius us. Know that genius is within you. Know that greatness is within you. Become aware of it and allow it to unfold. This is really what Jesus, the Master, was saying when he said, I am the light of the world, but I'm going away. Now you're the light of the world. Unfold the light of God that you are, especially during this season of transition and some of the chaos that's in the world, the anger and the hatred and the fighting and the bickering and the shifting about, all of the shift that's happening. Some of it's bullshift that's taking place in the world. With everything that's transpiring, be your fully developed divine self, if at all possible. And I believe I'm talking to a bunch of people who have decided to live their destiny, who have decided to live in their fullness. And I honor you for that today. Before we get into today's chat around the subject of the power of choice, let's take a few moments to get centered. We've had a great week of meditation. I hope you've enjoyed it. I certainly have. I felt a shift in myself, because right now, I got to tell you, my body and my psyche is experiencing a tremendous amount of challenge. But my spirit is soaring, and it is learning even more how to coach me through these processes of transition and moving and shifting and changing. I'm learning and I'm growing even more, because my spirit, that brings with it calmness and serenity and stillness, is even more coming to the forefront. And I'm learning how to coach Jon Scott through his processes in this human experience and expression. So I invite you now to take just a moment with me, if you will. Rest back into the seat that you are seated in, or maybe you're lying down in bed now, tuned into this. And I invite you to receive a deep breath and give it back. And here we are, right here in this present moment. For just a moment here, we decide to surrender. I surrender everything I think I know. I surrender all of my beliefs. I am giving room for the source of all things to bring to me something fresh. And so anything that's stale, that doesn't serve me anymore, any belief system that is possibly keeping me from expanding even further, I release it. I let it go. There's nothing in my belief system that is worth holding on to if it's going to keep me from knowing more of the truth. For the truth shall make me free. So in this moment, right here, right now, I say, Spirit of Truth, take from me what I don't need, bring to me what I do need. My entire being is surrendered. Spirit of Truth, take me where you will. Show me what you will. Guide me and direct me to where you will. I allow myself to be free from all of the weight that comes with dogma and so much fundamentalism. I release it and let it go. So Spirit, lead us where our trust is without borders. Let us walk on the water wherever you'd call us. Take us deeper than our feet could ever wander. And our faith is made stronger in your presence. And so it is. And so it is. Well, I want to acknowledge before we get into the power of choice today, that today is St. Patrick's Day. We are also celebrating Women's Month today. That's why you saw the video earlier. We're celebrating the power of the divine feminine. So many of us guys don't even realize how much of that feminine quality we have within us if we allow it to come to the forefront. And when we do, the power of receptivity comes into play. And when it does, you begin to birth into your life, literally from the womb of your soul, new and wonderful possibilities. So I encourage you to tap into that feminine side of you. Don't be afraid of it. The society is so interesting. It's so crazy how we go through waves of thinking that one is more important than another. And the reality is that we see in the yin yang, which is one of my favorite symbols because it's of the Tao. It's a Taoist symbol. We see in the yin yang the perfect circle dance of both divine feminine and divine masculine. But we've been so much of our society, at least in my lifetime, has been built around strength, the strength of a man, that we forget the powerful strength of woman, of feminine. So I encourage you to tap into that today, because in that space you're going to find a tremendous, powerful flexibility, gentleness, compassion, nurturing, receptivity. These are the things that are necessary for manifestation. So if you're wanting to manifest the life that you want to live, the key to that is going to be divine feminine. Tapping into it. You can forget it without it. You need that divine feminine in your life. So I encourage you today to allow that to develop in you as well, all of you men and the women. We honor the women who have blazed the trail toward creating a more equitable and a better, higher functioning society. We're not where we need to be. That's a reality. But we're a lot closer than we used to be due to the power of women in our life and in our world who have brought forward the divine feminine and the power of the woman. And so we acknowledge you, we bless you, and as men, I personally say thank you. Thank you for showing up and being the example of God. I love one of the aspects of the book The Shack and the movie The Shack, how William Paul Young showed so clearly the power of God as woman, God as feminine, God as divine feminine. I thought it was beautiful. I think it's great. Some people thought it was controversial, and I thought, why is it controversial? Why do we have to believe that God is a man? God is father and mother, mother and father, divine feminine and divine masculine, all wrapped up in a perfect balance. And you can be balanced in that as well. I'm gonna receive a drink here, because pollen sure is falling. Pollen is sure falling here in Florida. All right, let's get into today's chat on the power of choice. Pastor D.E.'s affirmation shared with us today is this: today I will exercise my power to choose. I choose to be around people of awakened minds and higher vibrations. I choose to be kind and not invest in relationships fueled by anger or angry people. I choose to be patient and not live my life around impatient people who make everything difficult. I choose to wake up to my divine creativity and to live a life not burdened with pity parties and blaming others for my lack of happiness. Somebody say, I choose. I have the power to choose. I love how he opens this up with saying, I choose to be around people of awakened minds and higher vibration. I'm not going to judge those who decide to remain asleep in these concepts. They've been conned by deceptions and deceptions of a lower way of being. I'm not going to judge, but I'm not going to hang out there either. I get to choose the vibrational frequency I will hang around. Psychologists say that we become the sum total of the 5 people we hang around with the most. And if that's true, then take a look at the people you spend the most of your time with, because the people you spend most of your time with, they influence what you're hearing through the input device of your ears. Be mindful of that, because what is going into your mind, your brain is capturing. What's going into your ears, your brain is capturing, and it's storing that information. And if that information that you're receiving from other people around you is causing inflammation, you might want to decide on a different crowd to hang with so that you can move from the inflammation of false information and into the world of inspiration, because inspiration means to be in spirit. You get to decide. You get to choose. Pat yourself on the chest and say, I get to choose the vibrations I hang with. Pastor D.E. says this: there's a question that has been asked innumerable times by countless people. Where did evil come from? If God is good and God created all things, did God create evil? This is a question that requires graduation from the lower level of absolute thought. It is a complex answer. Now, if you'll remember, just not too long ago, we talked about, in fact, last week, 4 progressions of thought. They were absolute, abstract, mystic, and spiritual oneness. So in order to understand the question of where did evil come from, if God is good, did God create evil, we have to move away from absolute thought just a little bit, at least into abstract and probably closer into mystical receptivity thinking, as we answer this question. Pastor D.E. says this is a question that requires graduation from the lower levels of absolute thought. It is a complex answer. Our Creator created us like her or him or it, which means we have the power to create. Most theologians refer to this as free will, or the power of choice. With this power of choice, we can create love, peace, and joy, or we can create hate, war, and sorrow. The power of choice is not evil, and it's actually not even good. The power of choice is neutral, with the potential to be used for good or for evil. So God did not create evil. God gave us the power to choose. That carries with it the potential for good or for evil. The real question is not, did God create evil? The question that will enlighten our minds, empower our journeys, and enhance our lives is this: why did God trust us with something that carries the potential for evil? God gave us, trusted us, and endowed us with the power to choose, because we are here to learn how to navigate our divine creativity. In other words, we're here to learn how to be like God. Now, I'm going to stop there for just a moment. What if the source gave to us its same power? And I would say she, he, it did. Gave us its same divine power to create, so that we could come into this earth existence essentially to go to school. I am learning how to navigate my divine creativity. As I walk through this life, this human experience and expression, this is one of the reasons, let me say this side note, one of the reasons that I think we need to be careful when we're fighting, when we try to fight so hard against the evil that's in the world. When we try to fight, because again, I posted yesterday that the genocide, I can't stand to see the genocide that's taking place in Gaza, that looks like it's taking place at the hands of Israeli government, and Israeli government is ticked off trying to fight back against what happened in October of last year with Hamas, and that gruesome and abhorrent thing. Is peace possible in the Middle East? Of course it is. But these people who are lost in their concepts around their belief systems will have to move out of absolute thought into a higher way of thinking in order to reach a place of peace, because they are utilizing their creative power to create chaos, pain, war, and battles over territories and pieces of dirt, and over their past regrets, angers, and their past angst and bitterness toward each other. We'll have to move to a different way of thinking in order to start using our divine creativity in a correct manner. But in some ways, there are some people, and listen, I know that this doesn't set well with some folks, but please try to hear this out. In some way, there are some people who signed up to come here to work off their karma, to work off to learn how, yet again, in another lifetime, to navigate their divinity, their creativity. And unfortunately, some people are playing their contract out very, very well. What will each one of us who have awakened to that reality do with our creative power, with our creative divinity, our divine creativity? What will you do with yours? Will you utilize yours to fight against something that quite possibly somebody else signed up to be? Or will you simply allow yourself to elevate into a higher way of being and start to project the vibration of peace, joy, love into that realm? Spiritual bypassing is not just being positive. Spiritual bypassing can also be getting caught in the negative vortex of what you're seeing. Instead of seeing the face value of what's transpiring there, really see people as eternal beings. Yes, all of these men, women, and children whose lives are being taken, of course, in an abhorrent way. It's terrible. But every one of those individuals are divine beings. What they're experiencing in their human form is temporary. They are also God beings who will either realize it in this life or they'll realize it in the next life. And ultimately, their physical existence is temporary, just like yours. Be careful that your emotions and your feelings don't lead your responses to what's transpiring in the world. This is why with politics, I say, look, watch it, be a part of the game if you want to, but remember it's all a game. That none of it's true. None of it's the essential. The essential you is the eternal one who's aware that all of this is a game. And that's the power of choice that you have. In every single moment, you have the power to choose your divine creativity, choose what you'll do with it, because it's a neutral power that you have been given. You can use it for good or you can use it for evil, and I would dare say that all of us have done a little bit of both at some point in our life. Every single one of us, at some point in our life, have used our genius, have used our power, have used our creativity, have used our free will in good ways and in bad ways, in high ways and in low ways. Pastor D says this, that's a lot of theology for a daily affirmation. In other words, what was just shared is a lot of theology for a daily affirmation. So let's apply this knowledge to our daily lives. Here it is. We are endowed by God with the power to choose our friends, spouses, jobs, churches, foods, political candidates. We choose money or the environment, convenience or health, inclusion or exclusion, power or peace. We choose love or hate, fear or faith, joy or pain. Own, here it is, this is the key. Own and hone your power today. God trusted you with it. We get to choose the people we hang around with. We get to choose how we respond to what's transpiring in our daily lives. We get to choose our jobs. We get to choose the church we go to, the religion that we practice, the foods we eat, the political candidates that we vote for. We get to choose those things. We also get to choose money or environment, convenience or our health, inclusion or exclusion, power or peace. We get to choose love or hate, fear or faith, joy or suffering, I would say, because I'll tell you this, I believe that pain is inevitable in the human experience. I only know this because I've never known anyone who didn't stub their toe at least once, didn't hit their finger with something at least once, didn't experience some kind of pain in their body, a stomach ache, a headache, something that transpires as a result of the environment that we're in and our body's response to it. So pain is inevitable, but suffering, in other words, ongoing pain with that very same thing, suffering is a choice. And I choose to not suffer. I choose love over hate. I choose peace over chaos. I choose faith over fear, knowing that all of it belongs in some way, but I choose that higher vibration level, and I believe you're doing the same thing. Those of you who are gathering around this movement, and it is one that's in the world, of a higher level of inclusion, a higher level of understanding, an expanded understanding of God, a higher vision and version of God. Those of you who are doing that, you're also choosing. And you're choosing to see that the way we've been doing business is not the better way. It's just not. There is a better way to do life's business. And we are now choosing it. But that power is within you. Own, take responsibility for your power today, and hone it. The word hone means to work with and to practice a particular skill. I'm going to hone this power that I have today. God trusted me with it. I'm going to choose what I do with it through habitual practice. I choose to practice inclusion. I choose to practice love. I choose to practice peaceful thoughts. I choose to wake up in the morning, as we said this last week. I want to reiterate these because it just seems to me to be a perfect way to segue for this today, to bring this to a conclusion. Let's bring this home with the power of choice. I have the power of choice. God trusted me with it. So I'm going to choose first thing in the morning to concentrate on love, because love fuels all of our existence. I'm going to choose to set a clock, if I need to, on studying the art of love and the full expansion of love in my life. I'm going to choose to meditate rather than to just medicate. I'm going to choose to contemplate good things, because the content on my plate is determined by what I'm contemplating. And if I am what I eat, then what is on my plate in this life? What am I consuming with my eyes, my ears, and even my mouth? What am I consuming into my life? And then what is starting to consume me? Not just what I'm eating, but what's eating me. And then affirmative prayer, meditation. I choose meditation, a contemplative life where I'm really being mindful of what I'm contemplating, and affirmative prayer. And affirmative prayer is basically being able to say, no matter what I face today, I know that I'm going to have the power to choose. And today I decide to choose love, joy, and peace, higher vibration ways of being. I choose to show up as the abundance of God that dwells within me, through me, and as me. I know that today the angels are going before me to set the way straight, to make the roadway straight for me. I know that abundance is coming to my life. Health, wealth, and well-being is my birthright, and I choose to walk in that today. That's affirmative prayer. Instead of saying, God, oh God, please make today great, I choose to make today great, because the power of choice is within me. The divine dwells within me, through me, as me, showing up, creating powerful and wonderful opportunities. Today is a day of opportunities, not opposition. Today is a day of adventure, not adversity. And that's affirmative prayer. So the first thing I do in my power of choice is I create the habit, first love. In my mind, the first thing I want to get into my mind is gratitude and love. Meditation becomes a choice, contemplation, and affirmative prayer, and then remembering every day, looking in the mirror and reminding myself that I am divine, reminding myself that the beauty, the indescribable beauty of the pure presence is within me, that there's no need to seek a greater spiritual status in this life. I'm already a master co-creator, rising into high frequencies and higher dimensional levels with the pure presence. I've merely forgotten that, and I choose to remember what has been dismembered. So today, that's my power of choice that comes to the forefront. That yes, I can look at what's happening in the world and be completely bumfuzzled by it. I can look at what's happening in my personal world and be overwhelmed by it. Or I can choose a higher way of being, and so can you. So here's our affirmation today. Today I will exercise my power to choose. I choose to be around people of awakened minds and higher vibrations. I choose to be kind and not invest in relationships fueled by anger or angry people. I choose to be patient and not live my life around impatient people who make everything difficult. I choose to wake up to my divine creativity and to live a life not burdened with pity parties and blaming others for my lack of happiness. Today, I choose. Today, I choose. And here's our prayer for today. Giver of freedom, help me choose life, an abundant life, today. And so it is. And so it is. I have the power to choose. What will you choose today? God has trusted you with that power. What will you do with it? I think I know what most of you are going to do with it. Go and be the light of the world. Go and be the divine presence of God in the world. I believe that that's who you are, and I believe that's why you're here and connected to this message. Now, I'm going to put something out there with all of you following this, because this is also your power of choice. That I have decided that One Love consciousness movement is not going to disappear in the world. The physical side, the psychological side of me has been wondering, how can we find a way for this ministry to be more supported financially? Seriously. Because as the leader of this organization, sometimes I look at it and I go, it's barely paying for itself, and it's certainly not saving the money that needs to be saved to move toward better ways. There are some better ways to come to you as far as technology is concerned. And we've been waiting. And you know what I've decided? I've decided that this is such a valuable work that I'm going to come to all of you and I'm going to ask you to consider, between now and the middle of the summer, I am endeavoring to raise $10,000 for One Love Consciousness Movement. I have never done that before. I've never even put out a number before. But there are some things that One Love is endeavoring to do, locking arms with some other organizations, also upgrading our platforms and our formats, also being able to reach out to musicians, singers. Listen, singers deserve to be paid for their time. And we've been in a position where basically Carrie and I have been carrying a lot of that to take care of those kinds of things. And I am believing that there's someone out there right now who is saying, I'm going to connect with this ministry in a more substantial and a more consistent way. And I am in the process right now of setting that goal by middle of summer, sometime in July, middle of July, raising $10,000 between now and the middle of July. And I know that you, as you're watching this right now, are connected to this message. And in some way, there may be a part of you who's saying, I want to give, but I just don't have it to give. I'll tell you this. I believe that if you'll set your intention to give, the opportunity is going to be made available to you. But here's what's cool about it. You'll never have lack in your life because you give to something you believe in. Never. As you begin to set your intention to give, maybe you'll make a pledge today. If you choose to make a pledge, I'm asking you to message me privately and say, this is the pledge that I'm choosing between now and July. I'm going to do my best to be a part of this $10,000 goal. And when I say this $10,000 goal, because basically what we would like to see is that in each quarter, or each half year, we would be able to raise at least $10,000. That's $20,000 a year to operate this ministry. $20,000 a year to operate this ministry. And I've just decided to go a little past the half year mark. So we will have this campaign ongoing. But as you sow into this ministry, as you give into it, this is fertile soil. This is a message that needs to get out. This is a message that the world should be hearing. And I'm inviting you to support it. And I want to say thank you for that. You are a blessing. And I believe this message and this movement is also a blessing. All right, y'all. I want to say thank you so much for being a part of this ministry. Remember this coming Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday for our morning meditations, our evening midweek connection on Wednesday. I love you so much. Now go and make it a great St. Patty's Day and Women's Month Day. Peace.